Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to A Gathering Place. We're kind of flipping the script a little bit today with the show, and I'm not going to be your host today. We actually have a special host. I'm actually going to be the special guest, and I'm looking forward to this because we have a great announcement and just updating you on what we're doing with our Gullah Geechee Chamber organization, family organization. So I'm really excited about this. And I'll bring on our special host right after our opening. I'll see you in a minute.
Hello, I'm Marilyn Hemingway, and welcome to A Gathering Place. I said, I'm stepping back because we have young voices who want to be heard and they're moving on something.
Branding is really important to you and your business.
Even a basic type of technology, you learn it all.
And people are
Good question.
Hey, Latasha, I'll let you take over.
Hey there. Hi, everybody. I am Latasha Elliott, and I am a special host for today, interviewing Miss Marilyn, who is obviously the woman of the hour. And so I'm excited to have the opportunity just to even speak with her and to be a part of this. So, Marilyn, you've got some exciting news. Let's hear what it is.
I do. Thank you very much, Latasha, and thank you for coming on as special host. It's kind of strange to interview yourself. So I invited Latasha to spend some time with me and ask me the questions this time. But our announcement is some of you may have heard, but we started a year ago the Gullah Geechee Chamber Foundation. And we have recently received a number of grants, and I wanted to share that news with everyone. And the first grant, $10,000 from the United States Energy Foundation to restart our environmental and energy conversations. Prior to COVID, we were going up and down the coast of South Carolina, even to Columbia to talk. Oh, that's my roundtables. The conversations we were doing, we were inviting environmental groups in to meet with our community so the community could ask questions and learn about these environmental organizations, ask them about their missions, their advocacy work, and why we should all be concerned about the environment. So we received a grant from the United States Energy Foundation to restart that programming, and I'm very excited about that. We also started the energy and environment and energy conferences prior to COVID. And of course, with COVID, a lot of stuff got shut down, but we received a grant from the Climate Reality Project, which is Al Gore's national, actually international nonprofit. We are one of 10 nonprofits to receive a $20,000 grant from the Climate Reality Project, and the only nonprofit in the state of South Carolina to restart our Gullah Geechee Environmental and Energy Conference, which will take place in October of this year in Charleston, South Carolina. So we are in the midst of planning it now. I will be sending invitation letters out to community leaders, community influencers to become a part of the planning committee, because this is going to come from the community, the Gullah community, to plan this, because, for historical reasons, Latasha, we are deeply connected to the land and the water. And that's what gives us sustenance we must take care of. And that's why we need to be environmental warriors, if you will. And then the biggest grant we just found out about 3 weeks ago or so, it was from the National Marine and Fisheries Federal Government and NOAA, National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, for $283,000 to basically preserve the maritime heritage of the Gullah community and establish the Gullah Geechee Seafood Trail, which will basically be an online visitors bureau that anyone from around the world can come and learn more about the maritime heritage of the Gullah Geechee. And if you want to visit, you will learn about our restaurants, our bed and breakfasts, hotels, the shrimpers, the oyster harvesters, the fishermen and fisherwomen, the folks, the artists, anything having to do with our water, our maritime heritage. We're going to showcase that. We are going to tell our story. And I am so excited, along with my collaborative partners. And I'll tell you more about those in a few minutes. I do want to take a moment just to really talk about these great collaborative partners. We're so excited about this opportunity to showcase our community and help small businesses, startup businesses to grow and create economic uplift and generational wealth. And that's all part of it. So in the last 8 months, I think we've received over $300,000 in grants. And that's just the beginning.
Wow,
this is just
awesome.
seed money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So have you always had a heartbeat and a passion for, I'm sure as long as I've known you, environmental ties has always been important to you, just being really green, but also your heartbeat is Gullah. So I know that just by the interaction that we've had. So tell us a little bit about what inspires you, what keeps you so, involved with the culture to the degree that you are, because it's amazing. You definitely have a passion.
Latasha, that's actually a great question. So thank you for asking. And before I answer it, thank you, Veronica. I really appreciate, I'm sure you understand when you say awesome, you understand the magnitude of what we are about to embark on this journey. Yes, I do have a passion for my community. And I think the passion comes from, I had parents who took me out to the ocean and we went crabbing. And I have a brother he's still a passionate fisherman. And I would go out with him and my mother was originally a physical ed teacher and she went on and got her master's and became a librarian. So in my household, it was always about education. It was always about being outside, being active, being just involved in nature. I was a Girl Scout. My mother was a Girl Scout troop leader and just the community. And I have to say, as I grew up, I gained a more appreciation, better appreciation of my family and who we are. And my family, in my bio, my father's family is Horry in Georgetown counties concentration. And of course, with the Great Migration, you find my father's family, the Hemingway Dunmore side, they go all the way up the East Coast. So I have lots of cousins all the way up the East Coast. And on my mother's side, it's Bamberg, Hampton, Beaufort, and Charleston counties. And my mother was born in Georgetown, and they met in the 3rd grade. So my Gullah Geechee roots are up and down the entire coast of South Carolina. And of course, with the Great Migration, I have family in Detroit, California, so basically Arizona, all over this country. But I think it took me becoming a mature adult to really appreciate who I am, and the history, our culture. And I think that's where you see the excitement that I really, amongst a lot of other folks, really are gaining an appreciation of who we are and our contribution to American history, but also our contribution to the environment, the land and the water. And as I tell people, as I've learned more and learned better, enslaved Africans, in particular from West Africa, were brought first to the islands, the Caribbean islands, Barbados, Bermuda, and so on, but also taken to South America and then eventually to North America because of their knowledge of how to control the water and manage the land to grow sugar, indigo, rice, cotton, tobacco, and so on. But it started with sugar and rice and indigo. And it was the knowledge of controlling the water and managing the land that the Europeans did not have. That's why they needed our brain power. They needed our knowledge and our strength. And we could get in details about that in another show. And we have to appreciate that. And I've learned to appreciate that. And just my personal life experiences, I think that has all come together to make me the environmentalist that I am now.
That's awesome. Now I know from knowing you the time period that I have, in addition to those things, your heart is tied to the small business because the Gullah Geechee Seafood Trail and some of the other things that you mentioned, it's clear to me that your heartbeat is Gullah Geechee, but also that small business owner. So what inspired you to have the idea to even bring it all together to create a full experience, a curated experience for those who visit Georgetown, South Carolina?
Small business owners are simply entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, that's a relatively new term, but it's a small business owner or a micro business owner. And micro, just to give an example to understand a micro, someone who may be baking cakes in their house and selling is a micro business owner. A small business owner, a better description would be maybe someone that owns that independent shoe store in your hometown or a restaurant. A lot of African Americans own restaurants, are small business owners. You hire, you're a job creator. And then startups. Startups are people who you're starting at, whether it's micro or small business, you're just starting, whether it's self-funded or you get money from family or friends or from a bank or some other financial resource. Why am I passionate about small businesses? Because in America, small businesses really are the economic engine. We don't hear about them because maybe it's not as sexy. I think it's becoming more sexy, but small businesses employ over 60 million people in the United States alone. But in the last 40 years, small businesses have actually decreased. And that's not good overall for our economy. Now, that's the general economy.
Right.
In the African American community, it's even a smaller percentage. Even though, with that being said now, small businesses that are being created, micro and small businesses being created in the African American community are majority led by Black women, females. All right. So I'm Black, I'm a female. And so on my personal level, I've owned the Hemingway Group communications firm since 2006. That's when I started that. But I really didn't get serious about it until maybe in the last 5 years, 10 years, I would say. But because of health reasons, I actually went to work full time for a client because I needed health insurance. Took care of the health issues, and then got to the point where I said, I really see a need in my community. I think my community has something to offer, and I want my community to experience economic uplift and generational wealth, because historically we have done the work that made other people wealthy.
Absolutely.
First, we weren't paid at all. And then after the end of the Civil War and emancipation, Juneteenth, and those historic events, we were still paid minimum wage, if we were paid that at all.
Right.
You could go into sharecropping, the lease chain gangs, all of that. And the prison industrial complex, 13th Amendment, really did not end slavery. Absolutely. We could get into all those cultural factors, but I saw the path to economic uplift, economic justice, generational wealth, investing in our small businesses. And we've always had small businesses in our community. Anybody can remember the middle-aged elderly grandmother type who sold candy from the front porch to the kids, and then she would make sandwiches or something. That's a small business.
Right.
We've always, funeral homes, small businesses. What else did we do? Doctors, standalone doctor offices, small businesses. We don't think of them as small businesses, but they are. So we've always had small businesses, especially coming after the Civil War, where most of the folks, recently freed enslaved folks coming off of plantations, had skills that they went and they started businesses. That's what created. We often hear about Tulsa, Oklahoma, but Wilmington, North Carolina, Rosewood, Florida. These are folks who had skills. Right. So we created small businesses, but through violence and economic conditions, we were forced to migrate. And it took a lot of that knowledge and wealth out of the South took some of it to the north. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when we went to the north, we not only worked in the factories, but we created small businesses to deal with that also. But
Right.
in general, we have been left out of the economic pie. And I just made a personal decision that I wanted to be a part of helping solve some of the problems of our community, in particular the Gullah community. And I choose the economic uplift lane. And that's why I started the Gullah Geechee Chamber. And eventually it's why I started the Gullah Geechee Chamber Foundation.
It's really an exciting concept how it all comes together between the three branches that you've always had an interest in, which is the land, you know, and being taken out at a young age to enjoy it. So you were able to see the value of it even then, and that was, you know, that concept was birthed in you by your parents, and then leading on to, you know, just conservation and small business, and just to see the heartbeat just kind of go throughout the community, I'm sure has been exciting. Have you had a lot of people interested in becoming a part of the some of the
The
events?
chamber, the different events.
Absolutely.
Yes, and it's growing. You know,
Okay.
I've been recognized, and I do really appreciate that the South Carolina African American Heritage Commission. I received their Herbert A. DaCosta Trailblazer Award, and
Mhm.
I definitely appreciate that award. But I also like to tell people I'm still a startup myself. I've only been
No.
doing this since 2018, and so it's exciting, and it always I tell people as long as I enjoy myself, I'm going to keep doing this. But and I've received that recognition. So that Trailblazer Award for the heritage, the economic side, the environmental side, from the conservation voters of South Carolina, I received the Community Advocate of the Year award for my environmental work. I appreciate the recognition, but it's just the beginning of great things. And part of that beginning is I'm still growing a chamber. I mean, it's a small membership, but we put on events. We do the International Gullah Film Festival. I'm on the board of that. So in partnership, we present that festival, and we've done it even in the midst of COVID, we've done it online twice. So we've
Yeah.
actually done it 3 times. And next year, hopefully, if everything continues to go well with COVID, get those vaccinations, folks. Get those vaccinations. That we'll be in more in person next year.
Mhm.
We network every first Friday. COVID's that's been kind of hit or miss with COVID, but that's our monthly networking event. We of course, I already mentioned the environmental and energy conference, conversations and roundtables. We were doing those in person prior to COVID. Now we're getting ready to restart those in the virtual and hybrid, in person and virtual. So there's a lot that's going on, and and I started not just the Gullah Geechee Chamber Foundation, which I started in 2018, but I now have, Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce in 2018, but in
Mhm.
2020 I started the Gullah Geechee Chamber Foundation and the Gullah Geechee Leadership Institute because I recognized with the institute we needed to deal with policies and issues in
Mhm.
environmental justice and economic justice. And then with the Gullah Geechee Chamber Foundation, 501c3, that is the fundraising arm to help produce the educational programs of the Gullah Geechee Chamber. And educational, we're going to launch a literacy program before the end of the year to have young folks get their first libraries and adults get their first libraries. But the difference is, you've probably heard of little libraries. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on local and Gullah Geechee authors who've written children's books, and also the adult authors who focus on adult audience, because any money that we raise, we're going to invest back directly into our community by purchasing their books, putting them into tote bags, and donating them for free to children and adults so folks can start their first library, because knowledge is truly power. And the
Absolutely.
more we know about our culture, community, and we celebrate it, the more powerful we are. So those are just some of the programs that we're doing, providing for these folks who are hearing about it more and more, and they want to become members or they want to donate. And we're going to be giving them those opportunities to be more involved and grow their businesses, but also create a more powerful community.
Well, Marilyn, that sounds exciting because it sounds like anybody who wants to get involved has the opportunity to do so. It sounds like you'll have some reading things for younger people who are coming that are coming up later this year, and then you've got people who are business owners who can get involved inside the chamber and get some
That's right.
training, some knowledge there, and networking opportunities. Because I've seen you even during COVID do the blue ribbon cutting where it's live.
Yeah.
You know, a couple
I
of
love
different
doing that. So y'all want a ribbon cutting? We do ribbon cuttings. We with the Gullah Geechee Seafood Trail, we're going to have restaurants on it, as I said earlier, artists, the business, and we're developing our educational arm. And I'm not going to say the name of that yet. We're going to announce that down the road. But we're going to offer a 10-week course, The Business of Doing Business. So if you're in business, you will learn all about getting your proper licenses, paperwork with the Secretary of State. Make sure you get that done. Get you to create a lean business plan. We'll get you a mentor, a business coach to help you as you grow your business. And to be quite honest, Latasha, also, a lot of folks are going to start realizing, am I in business or is this just a hobby?
Yeah, there's such a difference.
And there is a difference. And there is a difference. And you may learn, okay, I'm a hobby, but let me go through this course so I could be a business. Or you may learn, I'm a hobby, and that's what I'm content with. I'm good with being a hobby, and let me just keep doing what I'm doing. But you got to recognize the differences, because one of the things that happened with the COVID, when they did the PPP, Paycheck Protection Program, and EIDL, a lot of Black small business owners couldn't get those loans because they didn't have the proper paperwork, legal work, and they didn't have financial relationships, and they couldn't go and get that money. And we are actually working on a grant now so we could get some funds to help that program. We're going to do it anyway, but certainly if we get that grant, it's going to help kick that program off. But we've got to really make that investment in our community, an investment of time, an investment of money.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that having the Gullah Geechee Chamber Foundation, or the Gullah Geechee Foundation, is an exciting thing. I think equally exciting, though, is the chamber, because I know I've been in business now since 2018, and to have that support is invaluable. So how would they sign up? I guess we can kind of go through all the organizations that you have, but those who are in, is Georgetown, but can people join the chamber who are not in Georgetown? Or
you sure can.
Okay.
Yeah, because the chamber is in Georgetown because this is my home. And I took a course at the College of Charleston. Thank you, Stuart Williams. He started the In-Place Impact program at the College of Charleston. And it's offered to graduate students and undergraduate students. But part of him creating that program at the College of Charleston, he wanted the college to offer a free community business education class. And that's a class I took, along with their mental health therapy that I took. I said, what is this class offered free? Let me check this out. And I didn't do it the first time it was offered. I did it the second time because I wanted to see if this was real. And I took that class, and it was about 12 weeks. And that's where I developed the Gullah Geechee Chamber. I went in there with one idea and evolved to the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce. And but I knew I had to learn the meaning of in-place impact. In-place impact means you need to be in place to make an impact. Yeah. And my in place was being home because, one, my father was getting older. And, you know, when you get older, health issues, and someone needed to be here with him. So I said, if I'm going back home full time, I'm going to work for myself and get serious about it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I needed to be in place to make an impact. And I have to say, I've done that. I've done it. This is my path. But with that being said, even though I'm in Georgetown, I knew from day one it would be beyond Georgetown. Because remember, this is the Gullah Geechee Chamber.
Right, right.
So even though the seeds are being planted here in Georgia and South Carolina, the intention in my business plan was to have a presence in North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. And with the Gullah Geechee Seafood Trail, that's just one more seed in the fertile field to grow. So this Gullah Geechee Seafood Trail is starting here along the entire coast of South Carolina. But I've already talked to folks in North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida to expand into those states also. So the Gullah Geechee Chamber is going to basically follow the federal designation. And people need to really understand it. The Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor is a federal description.
Mm-hmm.
When you start talking about the culture, we are found in Virginia, Oklahoma, Mexico, Texas, and the islands. So we're a global community.
Right.
But for the purposes of, it's just me right now, and I'm growing it with contractors and eventually staff. We'll be in 4 states: Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, and home, South Carolina. But so you could go to our website and learn more information, and you could join the chamber. Right now, we're doing $150, and your membership will be until December 31st, 2022. Because of COVID, we're giving people a break.
Oh, wow.
We want them to, and I got the website at the bottom of the screen. We want people to get a break because of COVID. So usually it's $150 for 1 year, but if you join now, all memberships will renew December 31st, 2022.
That's exciting. And, I can't imagine how exciting it is for people who are a part of the Gullah heritage, to hear you talk about it with such passion. Like you said, you've got cousins all throughout the East Coast going up north. I'm sure people who will watch this now and later will go, wow, we've got a chamber in South Carolina. We got a chamber in Georgetown,
Yeah. There's 90% of African Americans trace their ancestral roots to the Gullah Geechee.
Right.
Charleston alone, 40% of enslaved Africans were brought through Charleston. Now you added even Georgetown. We have we call it the slave market. We use the term enslaved now. The Rice Museum originally was the slave market. They brought the enslaved through Georgetown, Savannah, Louisiana, Virginia, Hampton, Virginia. They came through there. So all of those, mostly from West Africa, because once again, the knowledge of controlling the water and managing the land.
Absolutely.
And so if you imagine 90% of African Americans can trace their ancestral roots back here. And it's until you get here, then it stops. Then there's that disconnect with, Africa. But you could get here. You could come back home to South Carolina.
Absolutely.
You could come to North Carolina. You could come to Georgia, Florida. And I tell people, you go to almost any Black church, when you see that hand clapping, my last live show in a gathering place was about Gullah Geechee music. That's the origins of American music.
Yeah.
The spirituals, the Gullah spirituals, you listen closely, you will hear blues, you will hear jazz, you will hear bluegrass music. And from there, you got rock and roll, you got hip hop.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll talk about a little bit some of the ways that people can stay in touch. So you mentioned the chamber, how we can do that, the Gullah Geechee Foundation. I'm excited to have been a part of the rollout of that. And so I can tell you that, as you already know, we're online, all the way online. So you want to talk about that a little bit, or?
Yeah, you can help me out too. So we are online because we're launching social media for the Gullah Geechee Chamber Foundation, y'all. So it's going to look for Gullah Geechee Foundation. The website will be up soon also, because the final thing we're doing is the donation button. Because it is a foundation, y'all. So we want to encourage folks to donate. So as soon as it gets back up, we're going to come back and we're going to introduce that too, because we're so excited about what's going on. But we are on social media. Look for Gullah Geechee Foundation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Absolutely.
And it's going to keep you updated on what we're doing with the grants, what we're doing with our different programming, the educational programs with the environment, energy, and economic justice. So definitely check us out. And please follow us. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram, because the more the merrier. It's just exciting times, and it's time for small businesses, micro businesses. It's time for entrepreneurs. I I think that's tied in. People keep hearing about, I can't have people aren't coming back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know something? That's part of it.
Right,
And
right.
I want to be part of that to help people create dynamic,
Absolutely.
growing, sustainable small businesses. And some of them are going to be bigger than small businesses eventually. And I want to be a part of that. That's exciting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the digital world, we call it entrepreneurship, and then we call it a bootstrap entrepreneur. That's the person who's not on a shoestring budget, they're on a floss string budget.
That's right. That's right.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
So,
you know, I'm glad you said that, Latasha, because another thing I said from day one with when I started the Gullah Geechee Chamber was collaboration.
yeah.
We cannot do it alone. We have to form collaborative partnerships together. And I do want to mention some of my partners with the grants that we received. The South Carolina Sea Grant Consortium, huge partner, especially helping me write the grants. I am a grant writer, but and I've actually written federal grants, but you know, time is short, and they stepped up and helped me, brought a lot to the table. So I really, really am very thankful to them, in particular Matthew Gorstein and Susan Lovelace and all the staff. Gullah Geechee Nation, Gullah Geechee Fishing Association, Gullah Geechee Sea Islands, that's Queen Quet. She's one of our collaborative partners, bringing her network into this.
Yeah.
The Gullah Preservation Society, Zenobia Harper, Coastal Carolina University, Dawson House, and Janie Harriet with the South Carolina African American Heritage Commission. I'm going to see them next week at our annual meeting. I'm an ex officio officer with that commission. Great partners. We got a lot of plans. It's just very exciting. Who else? I said Coastal.
That was quite a few.
I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, which I probably am. You know, once you start, you get in trouble. And those are the most recent grants. And then I have other folks that work with me on different aspects of it. You know, Latasha's company works with me, helping with social media and websites. So
the thing that I think is so exciting for anybody who is watching this, with the connections that she just listed off with the people that she just thanked, that alone is a good reason to join the chamber, because I mean, you just listed one organization after the next, after the next, after the next, who's partnered with you, which says a lot about your credibility, your reputation, and how passionate you are about this movement. I know green energy is new for some, but for you, it's obvious to me that it goes back to your roots. So shout out to your parents for exposing you young.
Well, thank you. I don't think we knew about the green renewable energy, but they certainly planted the seeds when we went out crabbing and fishing, and you know, that's sustenance. And
Right.
you have to take care of what gives you sustenance. My friend Zenobia Harper with the Gullah Preservation Society started a community garden 2 years ago, and she's an artist and really taps into our Gullah Geechee West African roots in her artwork. And one of the things she did with the community garden was a lot of color, and then a lot of variety of okra, West African, watermelon, yams, all the variety, just beautiful garden. Well, I mentioned her because one day we were standing in the garden, and I use this quote all the time. She's very much aware of it. I do give her credit. Zenobia told me, Marilyn, this is our abundance.
Yes.
When we walk out our door, our abundance is right in front of us. What do I mean by that? You could take the seeds from certain trees and turn them into beads and make necklaces.
Right.
You know, you could get the oysters and get the pearls out of the oysters and make necklaces. This is what our ancestors did. And this is what some of our people are doing to this day. We could take and create twine out of the aloe yucca tree and make twine. Right. Then from the twine, you make the shrimp nets. We take the sweetgrass and make the sweetgrass baskets. And they were born for utilitarian reasons. They're still utilitarian now, but it's actually an art form.
Right.
So our abundance is right in front of us. We just have to sometimes open our eyes and see it. That is the gift.
Right. One
of the gifts that our ancestors gave us. We could take, you know, the earth gives us gifts, so we have to sustain the earth. You compost, you know, my yard. My guy who cuts my yard laughs at me, but I told him in one section of the yard where the sand was coming, I was losing my grass, and I told him, don't throw the leaves away. You spread those leaves out over that area because that's organic matter. It simply breaks down, creates soil, and grows what I need again. So our abundance is right in front of us. Imagine taking the beads from the trees, the seeds from the trees, making beads and selling necklaces. And people will buy those necklaces $200, $300, $400 because they're authentic, they're handcrafted, they're from nature, and that is what Gullah Geechee is about. So I cannot disconnect economic justice from environmental justice because they work hand in hand.
Absolutely. Which is so interesting because the young people, they've got this concept on lock from what I've seen. My daughter, who is 10, she believes in recycling. I throw something away. She's like, Mom, hold up. We could recycle it. And I'm like, okay. But she's a young artist. And so her background, her grandparents on her dad's side are Gullah Geechee. And so just you could tell it's just in her, that desire to paint, to create, and use what is already accessible to us. So I just find it all fascinating.
Yeah, you know, and one thing I said, we all are Gullah Geechee. You know, I hear people say, you know, my grandfather was Gullah Geechee. Well, honey, you Gullah Geechee too.
Right.
Look, I tell people, and I'll give a good example myself. I am not fluent in Gullah Geechee for historical reasons. Just like the white people came. And they came to the Native Americans and said, we're going to put you in these schools and we're going to teach you English because your native languages are bad. That's not real language. They did the same thing with us. But the strength, man, this is what we need to celebrate. That our people made a way out of no way.
You better say it.
Made something from nothing. They said, not only are we going to take these tribal languages from different African tribes so we could communicate, we're going to take your language too and wrap in there. We're going to take some Spanish and wrap in there and create a whole new language. Not even a whole new language, a whole new community, a whole new culture. That is strength.
It is.
And resilience. All right? So I don't speak it because after the Civil War, then they came down again. Oh, that's bad English. We're going to teach it out of you. And some of us, it was, you can see the generations. All right.
Yeah.
But I still speak it.
Absolutely.
I could go, we call it code switching or whatever. Now we recognize that we're bilingual. I could go, you know, to the cookout.
Right.
I could go to somebody's house and sit there and you hear it. You hear Gullah. But when I tell people I'm not fluent, I'm not going to speak it to you. And I'll tell, especially in mixed crowds, they're like, okay, you speak Gullah. And I have to tell them, I am not your puppet.
That's right. Now,
I'm not going to speak it to entertain you.
Right.
You know, you'll hear it if you pay attention. You know, Gullah for honor, Gullah for you. But I'm not going to turn it on and be your puppet.
Exactly.
You know, but I'm very careful in telling people I am not fluent in Gullah. However, I do speak it. And then you could go community to community. Georgetown has a different flavor on Gullah than, say, Charleston or Beaufort, because you have to remember these communities were insular. Now, we could go and speak to each other and we will pick up familiarities, but we might take a little bit of different spin on it just because of the way you grew up. It's going to be different, a little bit different in South Carolina than, say, Georgia or Florida, but it's still Gullah.
Absolutely.
We still took those same languages and you know, we out here. Everybody know this.
That's right. You better talk right and say it, Marilyn. That's right. Yeah.
So we all Gullah. It's just that we've lost that knowledge that we're Gullah. If your granddaddy was Gullah, you Gullah.
Right.
If your grandmama, your mama was Gullah, it's just you just may speak more English, but you still Gullah. It's the way we eat. You eat rice, shrimp and grits.
Yes.
You go to any black church, if you see the clapping and the foot stomping or walking the bench, or singing in the circle, how we sing, that is Gullah. That is West African roots.
Mm-hmm.
You even see in Greek organizations, when you see them stepping,
right.
That's West
You
African.
better say it, Marilyn, and talk right and teach them now.
Yeah. So I mean, when people say, my grandparents, no, we all Gullah.
Right,
some of us are just a little separate from it because we had to migrate. But come on back home, y'all. Come on back home and reconnect.
And let me just say on this end, thanks to you, you've made a way for people to do that. So shout out to you. It's been an honor for me to even talk to you about what you're so passionate about, which is the Gullah, the environment, the history, the culture, entrepreneurship, small owned business, and that kind of thing. So thanks to you for creating the avenues for people to get involved. I'm certainly excited to be a part, and I've enjoyed being able to ask you a few questions about what I know that you're so passionate about.
Well, you're welcome, Latasha, and thank you for coming on and being my special host today.
You're more than welcome.
We're gonna have to do this again, y'all. We're gonna do this again because as this rolls out, we'll announce, the donation buttons. We'll announce more details of following us by text. Text go to our
to 21,000
Facebook page, Gullah Geechee Foundation, Gullah Geechee Chamber Facebook pages. We're on Twitter. I'm trying to get all of the stuff, social media, and we share this information. This show will be on our Gullah Geechee Foundation Facebook page. Also, we're on YouTube. Follow us because, especially growing YouTube, because that allows us to generate funds also. And I'm a startup. I'm still a startup. Yeah, I started this 3 years ago. I just happen to have a great deal of experience, corporate business, healthcare, cultural. Yeah, I got a lot. I've been around. I just decided to take the gifts that I've been blessed with and the experience that I worked for and the education that I was blessed to receive and work for and put it to one, I tell people to help me because I need financial. I need to retire, y'all. But two, to also invest and help my community, and those can go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Does not separate that. I think you and I had a conversation the other day, and I said, in a way, I kind of don't trust people who say I don't do it for the money. Well, yeah, I do, y'all. I do it to provide shelter over my head, to provide food in my mouth, and clothes on my body.
Marilyn,
I don't do it to be greedy, but I got to take care of me. And I got to take care of my business so I could be part of taking care of the community business.
Absolutely. And you teaching right now, because I think so many small business owners feel like it's wrong to earn money, and it's absolutely not. And to do it's not the sole motivation for why any of us get started, but certainly to leave a legacy and to expand the kingdom is a priority, and it should be. So I'm thankful that you're not apologetic about that. You don't shrink back from that. And that, again, is a good indication for anybody who want to join the chamber. You've got someone whose feet you can sit at and learn, and who's created these programs to teach. And part of, teaching is that revenue versus profit. And you have to have something to supply your needs and have a good combination and balance of it all.
Yeah. And I also want to, I'm not going to call any names, but they know who they are. I'm surrounded by a great team of folks who are putting the work and the investment in. They see what I'm doing. And, my story, it's been up and down also, and because that's life. Absolutely. But when Latasha, and I know you know this, when you are on your path,
listen,
those barriers that life throws up, you just stay on your path. Those barriers will be lowered for you.
Absolutely.
You will gain things and gain connections and people and knowledge and experience that, those barriers will be lowered for you. And, life is a journey. I likened it to the train. In 2018, I was getting the train ready at the train station and putting the oils in the wheels and the gas and the steam and all that. And then start chugging and pulling away from the first station. Then it stopped at a station and picked up a financial contractor, stopped at another station. Yeah. So my journey, we're all at that train, chug. And some passengers get on and some passengers get off. but
Yeah.
that train will keep on going. And that's what life is. And when you get that train chugging and moving,
And you
you'll
know
be
what? I just
amazed.
want to encourage somebody to say, listen, if you're a young entrepreneur, we all start where Marilyn's describing. All of us kind of start small. But if you don't give up, you know, we will reap if we faint not. That's the word. That's a
That's
guarantee.
right.
We're
That's right.
guaranteed to reap. All
That's right.
we have to do is just not faint.
That's
And
right.
so that's why you are where you are today, being in a position to honor really your parents with the legacy that they started at such a young age. It's just not quitting and continuing it on. So I
Yeah.
applaud.
Yeah, I have to. I was blessed with a lot. I was blessed with good parents who provided for me. I did not have everything I wanted, but I had everything I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, you give back. You give back to honor your parents, your
Yeah.
community, and you'll be blessed. The doors will open. And that's what and you know, most people who know me probably realize, Meryl, I give more away,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I got to pay the bills now. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, Meryl. I'm going to give you the price list.
Right. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I don't show up for nothing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I also, on the way to the show up, I've given away a lot too. And we'll continue to do that. That's one of my values, to give back. Mm-hmm.
Well, again, you've made the opportunities to allow people to get involved and to give back. So shout out to you and thanks again.
Thank you, Latasha. I think we covered everything, but I know we're going to do a quick live on Friday to update with some more stuff that we're working on. So y'all stay in tune with us. Follow our social media. Are we going to do the tweet thing?
We are. And let me just say, everybody, please go ahead and subscribe by texting Gullah to 21,000. Text the word Gullah to 21,000. Text the word Gullah to 21,000 to stay up to date on all things Gullah, to stay up to date on what Marilyn is doing next, the foundation, the chamber, etc. That is her text messaging system. And so she'll be able to keep you up to date and you'll be able to stay connected. So again, text the word Gullah to 21,000.
Okay, I'm going to put that on the screen.
Okay.
All right. Text Gullah to 21,000 to stay up to date and connected. And we'll keep you guys up to date what's going on with all the Gullah Geechee family organizations, the Chamber Foundation, and the Leadership Institute. We'll keep you guys up to date with the breaking news, and follow us on social media. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook,
yes.
Instagram.
And those are the ones so far. Yeah.
YouTube.
Right.
A gathering place. We're actually on YouTube. Y'all follow us on YouTube so I could get my, subscribers up. Subscribe on YouTube, and this growing, y'all. We're so excited. If you join your business, we'll feature you just like a gathering place. I bring my business folks on. I bring my authors on. We'll feature you. That's what the whole point is. What Chamber is to promote our members so more traffic can come through your doors, or over the phone, or over the internet, wherever you are. The whole point is to increase your foot traffic so you can increase your sales and increase your profit, revenues and profit. And I love doing that for folks. And you can text us if you have particular questions or anything. Shoot us a line over our social media, and I'll get back with you. At some point, you need to talk to me. I'll get back with you. And a young lady I'm meeting with this evening, helping her with her business plan. I meet with folks all the time. I'm constantly going. Latasha, you know that. Yeah, folks who know me, I actually do this show. The show actually kind of forces me to stop for an hour on Wednesday and Sunday. But yeah, I'm always moving around. And I'm just really, as long as I enjoy myself, it's all good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. All right. I think we're good, Latasha. Anything else? You're the host today, so.
Well, like I said, it's been good talking to you. I think that, and I was going to say this as you were wrapping up, that when you find what you enjoy doing, it really doesn't feel like work. And that's not out of reach for most people. I need them to know that, because sometimes we get stuck on jobs and we feel like this is it. It doesn't have to be.
Well, I think, Latasha, that is a very good point to make. And I think we need to show grace to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because COVID, I believe this pandemic has opened the eyes of a lot of folks who like, I don't need to beat myself down on this job.
Right.
Let me go and invest in myself, whether they went and took more classes to be better on the job or get more money, or they want to start their own business. And that's kind of why we're seeing where people are saying, I can't get workers. Mm-hmm. Well, you told them to go better themselves. And God moves in mysterious ways.
Yes, he does.
Because I've told people the silver lining in this pandemic, the one thing that we can never get back, God gave us time.
Yes.
God brought us to a stop and said, you better open your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us are going to get it and some of us are not. That's life too.
Yeah.
That's life too. And this is, we are getting ready to, we are going through a global change.
Yeah.
A global change, whether it's a green renewable energy, this environment with climate change, the economy with workers. We need to invest in our workers. We need to invest in our entrepreneurs, our small business owners, respect people for being human beings.
Yeah.
And that's part of what you were saying. That is it. Respect, give people opportunities. And I just want to be part of that. It's exciting to be part of that.
Yeah, I can relate. I know with unemployment going down, I've had so many people reach out to go, okay, I want this business, but I don't know how to start online with marketing. And unless you've been trained, you just don't know it could be overwhelming because this digital world is different. It's a different
and it changes like that.
Quicker than you can say, wait a minute. It does. And so I know my business has picked up because people are trying to get back online and they're trying to find their way. And, it's good to shorten your learning curve by joining the chamber for $100.
That's right. Take some educational classes, boot camps. It's all coming. I got my educational coordinator, Alana Jenkins, sharp young lady, going places. So it's all happening.
You for extending the membership into 2022, Marilyn, that just shows your heartbeat. I mean, they've got it for 6 months technically, and then all of next year. So I would encourage them to definitely join the chamber. That's a good starting point.
And they can just go to the website, GullahGeecheeChamber.org, and join $150 to December 31st, 2022. So the earlier you do it, the more time you get.
Absolutely.
And then we'll follow up with you and, get you involved with stuff and get involved, get engaged with the events that are happening. If you want to be part of the Gullah Geechee Seafood Trail, and you're going to have to go through the educational piece, but if you're serious, you do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's all good. Yeah, I kind of dragged it out a little bit, Latasha, because I want to make sure people text Gullah to 21,000.
No, I don't blame you.
Stay up to date and connected, y'all. Hey, it's been good, Latasha. Thank you for doing this for me today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's an honor.
All right, everybody. Latasha's going to go, and I'm going to go too. But I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you. Yes. And I'll see you this Sunday at 4 o'clock. You know what? Every Wednesday and Sunday at 4, we do a gathering place. And if you know a Gullah community that we need to focus on, whether it's in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, I put that ad out. Reach out to me through Messenger or at Marilyn@GullahGeecheeChamber.org. Let us know about your community. I would love to bring your community representatives, leaders, influencers. Just come on and share the word about your community, your Gullah community, because, our Gullah communities are under pressure now with gentrification, climate change. We're losing land. So I want to focus and celebrate our Gullah community. So y'all just shout the word out to me, and let's make that happen.
Yeah.
All right, Latasha, I'll be talking to you later. Thank you for joining me today.
You're more than welcome.
All right, everybody, y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you on Sunday. Good night.
Good night.